Hi, Carolyn. First, here's what happened to Carolyn Talks podcast. Thank you for speaking with us today. So, at the beginning of this film, you started with this series. You started with the question, "Who is Bill Cosby to you now?" And at the end, and you ended it with another question: "What's next? Where do we go from here?" So, for you, could you just talk about, for you personally, what those two questions meant for you in the production of the docu-series, and then also for you personally as a comedian, as a Black man, and someone who's working in this industry, because so many predators do exist within the entertainment industry. And like you talked about the documentary by Dream Hammond about R. Kelly, and it's like there's so many more films and so many more stories that need to come out because there's so many predators that need exposing. So for you, what do those questions mean for you?
So yeah, I think that when I asked the people at the beginning, that was often the first question I would ask people, like, if I asked you who is Bill Cosby now, or if an alien landed and said, who is Bill Cosby, how would you respond? Because I think it was like a way to clear the decks and go, let's just sort of, before we get into the details, let's just sort of start broad. And that reaction that I didn't know people would have, that sort of that deep breath or that sigh, I sort of realized, oh, we have to use all this, because it shows how deep this question is and how challenging this question is, even though it seems like it would be simple maybe. But so for me, that question was answered for me by Kierna Mayo, who used to be the editor-in-chief of Ebony Magazine, at the end, where she basically says Bill Cosby is like the catalyst or the key to understanding America, because his story involves two of America's major operating systems, Black people trying to racism and dealing with racism, and women not, sexism and rape culture, and women not being listened to and prioritized. That's throughout all of American history. And as you said, there are many powerful men in Hollywood, many of them white, who have done similar things to this. So, and there's documentaries about those people too. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Woody Allen, however you want to say it. But so for me, it was like, that's what I was sort of looked at this as. Like, this is how, if we understand this and learn from this is ultimately what Bill Cosby asked us to do, is learn. We can hopefully learn from this and create a better society in the way that Bill Cosby said he wanted us to. I don't think he meant this part, but I'm taking that lesson to heart. What's next is really, like, I feel like I learned years ago with United Shades of America, it's not enough to tell people this is the problem. There's the problem. It's over there. You have to give people resources. You have to sort of build a productive conversation that leads to things being better. So for me, the documentary is not the entire conversation about any of this. There's so many parts of this that could be their own 4-hour documentary, but I hope it's a way to set the table to have not just conversations, but productive conversations about structures and systems, and specifically in the entertainment industry, where power matters so much that, like, if you're the last person on the call sheet and you see the number one person on the call sheet doing something suspicious, right now, on most sets, you can't tell anybody because you'll get fired if you do. We have to flip that, where a set is more concerned about the safety of the employees and the well-being of the employees than it is about money. And as we know, it's, there's just a big articles written about Joss Whedon, who doesn't sound like it was criminal necessarily, but he was a tyrant on the set and did not make people feel good and safe. So it's about more than just this. It's about a way in which we reset the whole industry. And that work has been done a lot. Surviving R. Kelly did a lot of that work. A lot. Toronto Burke's Me Too movement did some of that work, but the work continues.
Thank you so much for making the film, and thank you so much for your answer.
Thank you.